So what would you say right now for each of you is the biggest struggle you're having? And then as a group, we talk about that struggle and see if we can solve it.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
Who wants to go first?
Okay, mine is kind of my business is all over the place, and I'll admit this year I didn't do any lead generation, and because kind of I don't know what I should be focusing on now. So I'm still doing a bit of everything, but yeah, the biggest thing is systems, and not so much.
Same person.
Yeah, definitely. And like you're looking for a coach, and I think I had the coach, but for me a 30-minute phone call once a week is I can barely introduce myself. Like I need like even somebody that I think that could sit and say, okay, I'm going to help you as a mentor, but maybe I got to give them a, if they're licensed or whatever, a percentage or something, somebody that can help me grow. Because if I can do what I did without doing anything, then,
Yeah, hiring helps because it forces you to keep going because you got to pay for that.
That's right.
Yeah. But the idea of getting a mentor, and I mean, within our company, we have a mentorship division where new agents have to be, because just the nature of how we work. But if it works for them, they can continue on, and they do a percentage, and the mentor gets a certain percentage. And so if you can start literally reaching out to other agents that have experience and are doing what you want to do.
Yeah,
but as I say, look at how they're getting there, and are you wanting to take the same path? So if they're cold calling and you don't want to cold call, then don't get a mentor that cold calls. Find somebody that works the way you want
That's
to.
right.
And then flat out, just say, and I say this with agents that want to get into commercial. I don't do commercial. But if they want to, I say go find a good commercial agent and tell them, hey, I'm going to split it 50-50.
Yeah.
Work with them for a year. They'll teach you everything you need to know.
That's right.
And then it's worth their time.
But it sounds like maybe if you're, only because this has been said to me many times, is if you're at that point, maybe if your business allows for it, you could maybe hire an assistant.
So that's the funny thing. I put out an ad on that whatever website, and I had a couple hundred inquiries, and I was checking back on them yesterday. It's from a year ago. So I planned to do that a year ago. So the thing with me, I have a lot of ideas, and client appreciation events. I've wanted to do them forever, and I know it would be good, but I'm good at ideas but not executing. So I need somebody that can help me execute.
I can't help you.
Why don't you have an assistant? You like working for $10 an hour.
So the reason I don't have an assistant is because I don't know what they should do for me, and I don't know how to meet with them and hire them and set them. I'm too nice.
Do you know somebody that's got an awesome assistant?
Well, actually, my broker's helping me with that now.
Okay,
so
find somebody who's got an awesome assistant and
share with them.
Well, they may not want to share. If they do, awesome. I mean, just align your systems. I don't understand why agents don't get together and say, okay, we're going to run the same websites, we're going to run the same CRMs, we're going to do the same marketing in different areas, and then have one person run it.
That's right. One system, but they're in different areas.
But if you've got somebody that's got an awesome assistant, well, yeah, I mean, the one thing I keep looking for is somebody that when I have a listing, I can just send the listing and the photographs and everything to, and they'll do all of the marketing for me on the internet, like the social media. But if you've got somebody that is working the way you do and has an awesome assistant, hire the assistant only to help you get and teach the right assistant.
Well, I keep trying to take our admins from our office, from my broker.
No, that will not
No, you can't do that, but I just did this.
Kathleen Black, like your coaching can train your assistants too.
Yeah.
I'm sure other coaches have something similar.
Absolutely.
I know she does.
You know what would work for me is something like if you had like somebody that saw your potential and they were like, okay, I'm going to help you do more business, and then you can basically supplement me by that. You know what I mean? Like instead of paying the coaching every month, it's like if they see potential in you, they know that if they invest some time in helping you.
So you don't want to put any of your own skin in.
No, I've done that before, but it doesn't. Yeah. It's like it doesn't mean anything to me. It's like okay, it just comes off out of my bank every month, whatever. You know,
I did that, but you know what happened? No one did anything. They had no skin in the game. It wasn't their money, so if they didn't produce,
like I'm willing to put everything in the game. It's just I know I have a lot of potential.
You spent $80,000 before you made money.
Yeah, I did. And looking back, you know, my account was like, you know, we're not going to write off this whole box because but yeah, that's the thing. I've you know.
But I think that is so I'm really similar to you. I just haven't taken the next step only because similar things. I mean, I think a lot of agents could probably relate to this is you spend all day doing all these things and then you've got to sit down and go, okay, well, it takes me forever to do that because I put it off, or I do this or that. I mean, my office chases me all the time for paperwork. I don't want to do paperwork.
That would be me.
Sorry if you watch. And then they hold my money until I give it, but luckily I already gave them stuff from before, so I don't care. But I think, so I just had somebody that went in, and our admin stayed because she used to run a brokerage, and now she's doing admin, and I said, I don't know how to train this person that I've got because I don't even know what I want them to do until I don't want to do it.
We don't even.
That's why I say if you get somebody who is working the way you want to work at a high level that has an assistant, then, and a lot of them will have an admin manual. That admin has already
can be
written
passed
the
on,
book.
right?
I have a few of those that they were sent to me, but they're just hiding in my inbox somewhere.
So the other thing to remember too when you're hiring, because I know, and this is an objection, like I've talked with Dean Jackson about this too, we mentioned earlier, is he always makes a point of like, when people hire him and they're like, yeah, but I don't have enough to keep them busy for 40 hours right away. Well, even if you're hiring them for 40 hours at the beginning, just think about it like your car. Like, how often does your car just sit not being used? But it's great to have it there when you need it.
Right.
Like, your assistant doesn't
you don't
have to
it,
always
you really need it.
And then the good ones will fill their time in that off time.
Well, and what else could you create for them to run in your absence, like a Facebook community page that they could literally be scouring the local news and filling up while you're not using them specifically on this deal, or community client events.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they can be going and creating client events and come back and say, best assistant I ever had. And one of the ways you might consider getting an assistant, go to the local school and put up a notice if they'll allow it. Because you have people that now their little Jimmy has just started kindergarten and they want to get back in the workforce, but they really can't be in a job before 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And they've got to be home at 2:30 for when little Jimmy comes in the door.
Yeah.
My best ever assistant came after the kids went to school, and if there was a PD day, she knew. No work. March break she had off. Summer worked part-time for me, which is okay because during the summer we're not as busy. So it worked beautifully. But I could tell she was the talent because the very first day she did work for me, literally she had everything organized and in order and saying, is it okay that I did this? Yeah. I wanted to do that for 5 years. So don't even figure I gotta wait till I get all the systems nailed before I can hire somebody. Your best assistant will build the systems.
That's
for
right.
you.
And I would be the best boss and the easiest guy to work. I'd actually have to hire somebody.
Says that.
No, but I would have to hire somebody to like be the authority to my assistant.
So there are services you can do where they will like basically train someone who works for you to become like an operations manager. Like they'll help them build out the operations. Like they'll give them the framework, and they'll do that side. Basically, get to the point where your person can then take it and run with it.
And a lot of people I know that have assistants, the assistants just think on their own, what can I do for them, right? Because they have
that's
money.
the difference. And we call that open-ended talent. The other is cul-de-sac talent, dead end. And my first assistant, literally, if I were talking to a client on the phone and she had a question, would sit there and look at me for 20 minutes while I was on the phone, and I get off the phone and say, what is it? Oh, I need to know about this. And I go, you sat there for 20 minutes and you could have done this, 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 and this, instead of sitting there watching me talk to the client for 20 minutes on the phone. That didn't last very long, because I'm not going to pay somebody that can't think for themselves.
Of course.
My other assistant that I was referring to, I'd go to a client's house and they'd say, oh, I can't believe that package you sent me. Is that ever awesome? And I go, well, I'm glad you like it. And I'd go back to Suzanne and say, Suzanne, what are they? Oh, I found this on the by referral site and I thought it was a really good idea. Is it okay? Oh, yeah, awesome. You know, you shouldn't have to take them A, B, C, D, E. You want them to say, hey, you know what? I looked at what we're doing here. I was wondering if we did it this way, would that be better? And you go, hey, awesome, good to go.
So I think, like for us being in very similar situations, and I think most agents are, I think you just kind of take the plunge and just like, because if somebody came to you, like a coach or anybody, and they were calling you at a certain time, you'd answer the phone. Like if you just go and hire somebody, you were going to have to
And
do
that-
it
and
because
that's-
they're going to be there.
That's right, and that's
Right?
what I want
So
to
you
do.
just-
Literally, I'm excited about it. I just want to hire somebody,
Yeah.
but it's like,
Well, it just
So,
and
give me
be careful.
It also motivates
So,
you too
one
to
thing-
get up and do stuff.
With like Indeed, you probably used Indeed for like the 200.
yeah, and you
so
know what? A lot
that-
of them sounded super qualified.
So-
then there was too many. I got
What I found helped a ton because I did that. Like when you put social media marketer as a position, it's like if someone has an Instagram account, they're like, I could do that.
Yeah, that's right.
So you get a ton. Like within like 2 days, you'll have like
They're confident.
150.
That's confidence there.
You'd be surprised. But what I started doing is one, like I wrote the job ad with my personality in it.
Mhm.
So like right away, you could tell if you'd want. Like the woman who got the job last time, in her cover letter to me, wrote the word shit in it. And I was like, that takes a certain level of
Yeah.
confidence reading my cover letter to know that not only do I like that, I really admire the ballsiness
That's
for her
right.
to go and write, I don't give a shit about X.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I like that. But then what I started doing is I buried a question.
Yeah, I did that too.
And so mine was, what's the name of our Facebook group for real estate agents? And I was like, by the way, in your cover letter, tell me the name of our Facebook group. Like if you go to our website, scroll down, it's like the second or third thing. If you go to our Facebook page, it links to it. In a job for social media marketer, that's an incredibly easy thing to find out.
Yeah.
Right.
I would say 80% didn't answer.
Mhm.
And of the 20% who did, at least half got it wrong.
Yeah.
One person wrote like, oh, that's a trick question.
Yes, it is. Now answer it.
But I did that, and I also asked them to, I sent a link to the Tony Robbins disc profile,
Yeah.
and I also said, send a video, like,
Yeah, I waited for like a phone conversation before I sent like that round, and then
Yeah.
what we did is we just gave them all a test. Like so, like ours was create like here's like what you have to market, create like a little social campaign for it, and then even said like if you do that and it's something we ever use, we'll pay you for that time.
yeah,
Right.
that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And then-
that's really good.
And it was interesting because like when we did that one, we were just like, tell us how you would market this, and we just gave them like a property. We said, how would you market this? And we had one woman who created like a PowerPoint presentation, line by line, going through it. Another guy just wrote back an email that was like a paragraph at most. And we we're like, well, obviously I'm going with Captain PowerPoint over here.
Yeah.